Residents are starting to move back into this Los Angeles high-rise after a massive fire that injured 13 people. That building had no fire sprinklers, and it turns out we have the same issue here in San Diego.
There are a handful of buildings that were exempted from putting in the sprinklers. 10 News reporter Jeff Lasky uncovered what's in the way of a step that the fire department says could save lives.
A rescue on the 5th floor, CPR in progress for a severe burn.
The images were horrific. Flames erupting from a high-rise residential building Wednesday in Los Angeles. One man forced to climb onto a tiny ledge to escape, clinging for his life until he was rescued. Even for a veteran firefighter like San Diego Fire Marshal Doug Perry, it was hard to watch.
The first thing I think about is the danger the people have been put into because of the fire. But next thing I step over to is that wouldn't have happened in a sprinklered building.
Perry says it's a simple fact. Fire sprinklers save lives. And even though San Diego law requires them, there are still a handful of old buildings that don't have them. The most recent data is from 2018 and shows 10 residential high-rises without sprinklers.
You know what? I'm not worried about it. Yeah, it doesn't bother me much.
Trevor Engman lives in one of the buildings on the Marshal's list, the Imperial Tower Apartments across from Balboa Park on 6th Avenue.
I get the freedom to choose whether or not I want to live here, and I choose to live in an older building because it makes sense for me cost-benefit wise.
We reached out to the apartment management. They sent an email saying they do have fire sprinklers, but when I asked for clarification on when they were installed and whether they covered the whole building, they did not respond. I asked Fire Marshal Perry why these buildings were exempted by the city when the ordinance was first passed.
The majority of those buildings have asbestos in them, so not only is it costly to install the sprinkler system, but it's very costly to mitigate the asbestos.
But Perry thinks it's time that the city take a hard look at taking away those 10 exemptions and coming up with a plan to get sprinklers installed. After all, money isn't the only potential cost.
You got to look over the long haul, 50, 60 years, what's a life worth, what's your life worth, and there's got to be a way we can do it.
In Bankers Hill, Jeff Lasky, 10 News.
And we did reach out to the city council members who represent the district those buildings are in. Barbara Bree tells 10 News the LA fire, quote, makes you re-examine your own city and ask if we're doing everything in our power to protect our residents from a similar high-rise fire. The first step is to examine the city's permitting process.